Hi everyone. This video is going to show you how as a teacher to set up an environment in Project Ignite for your classroom. The first thing I'm going to do is I've already browsed to Project Ignite at autodesk.com and I'm going to go ahead and log in. I'm assuming that you've already signed up for your account. When I go to log in, it's going to come up with a dialog box looking for my information, my authentication information. You can put in an Autodesk ID or an email and password, but what I find much more helpful is going in and signing in with my Google account. Now I'm only authenticated into one Google account on my computer, so when I click that, it's going to kind of blink a couple of screens and then go into my dashboard. If you're signed into multiple Google accounts, you will have to choose which account you are logging into Project Ignite under. There we go. Now that's authenticated. I'm waiting. It brings up my dashboard. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click on my user icon for my dashboard, and that will bring up all of my different classes, my projects, my accounts, my students, all of my information. Now to set up my own class, I'm going to go ahead and click on classes. This here, classes I'm taking, I'm not currently taking any classes, but this we're going to come back to because that's how we're going to get students into our classes. And then classes I'm teaching. When I click on there, I get all my different classes. I can click add a classroom, type in webinar, and click add. When I do that, now I have my space for my classroom. You can name it obviously anything you want. If you use a code for your classes, that's helpful in keeping track of which classes into which segment here in Project Ignite. I'm going to go into Manage. When I go into Manage, it's automatically going to tell me that I have no students and then I have 2 projects automatically populated. So when I look down here, I have Let's Learn Tinkercad, which is the intro class for Tinkercad. It is excellent for middle school students. There's some vocabulary that's a little bit higher for younger students, but it's very helpful and it gives a great foundation on your tools and understanding within Tinkercad. And those icons, anything relating to Tinkercad, are blue. And then we have Getting Started with Electricity. These are our Arduino lessons, our 1, 2, 3D circuits, and all of those are green. My focus is going to be on Tinkercad and blue ones. Okay, so I can go in, I can add projects. It's always highly recommended that teachers select projects that they've completed themselves. So I can come in here, I can search for a project, I can scroll and select a project, or I can click from all projects to projects that I've taken and see which ones I've already completed on my own, select that, and add it into my classroom. Then I need to go ahead and I need to add students. There's a couple different ways we can do that. We can enroll them using an invitation code, or we can add students by typing in their name and sending them an email. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to log out as myself, log in as a student, and show you on the student side what happens, because then we're going to come back here and we're going to look at what shows up and how we monitor them. So as a student, I would want to come to projectignite.autodesk.com, and my teacher has a classroom code now that I need to log into. I don't have an account yet. This demonstration will show you how to set up students that do not have email and that do not have an Autodesk account. So generally students that are young, middle school or younger, not all schools have email accessible to students. So this is how we would sign in students without that Google login. Okay, so we're going to start right here on our home page. Are you a student? Yes. I'm going to join my class with a code. I enter my code. It doesn't matter if it's caps or lowercase. I believe it takes it either way. I'm going to click join. Now it says I will need to log in or sign up to join this class. we're going to go ahead and click sign up to join this class. My country is the United States. I'm going to make myself a student that is younger than 13 so that you can see mostly students that age do not have email. So I'm making my birthday a true birthday below 13. Autodesk is COPA compliant, so we want to make sure that we keep kids within that age bracket. I'm going to click next. It automatically populates my teacher's email address. I'm going to give myself a username and a password. And I'm not going to change my teacher's address. That's going to stay just the way it is. And click create. That's the authentication process. Now I'm in. I'm going to select student and click done. Now I have to wait for my instructor. I can't do anything else until my instructor approves my account and my access in here. Now I'm going back in as the teacher. I'm going to log in using my Google account. I authenticate. And now as a teacher, I'm going to go back to my classes, to the classes I'm teaching, to my webinar, and I'm going to see that I have 2 students. So I added in, you just saw me add in Super Tinker Kid, and I had done a trial. So I can accept them or decline them individually, or I can accept all. Once I accept them, they're now part of my moderated kids, and they will have access to the classroom and the projects given out. So I'm going to accept all kids. When that happens, the number 2 goes away. It goes to blue. If it's orange, you have new kids to accept. If it's blue, you have everyone there. Now I can manage my kids. I can select them. I can delete them from the classroom. I can then go in. I can view progress on a student, see what they've started and what they haven't started. And then also I can manage the kids. If they delete their password, I can go in and change their password as well. Okay. And that would be, to moderate my kids, would be under moderated accounts. Okay, so you can see my Super Tinker Kid here, and we can see delete user, reset password right there. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to log in as my Super Tinker Kid, and we'll see how they can see the classroom. Okay. Okay, so I just logged in as my student. Okay. Now, as the student, I can go back to the dashboard, go to my classes I'm taking. Notice they don't have classes that they're teaching. And then I'm going to visit my classroom. And now I can get started on those. Now, if my student and I are doing this simultaneously, they will need to refresh their screen using the refresh button after I've accepted them into the classroom. Otherwise, it will look like they still don't have access. The other thing you can do is just ask them to close the browser and open it back up, and they will get into that same area. The other thing that I want to point out is for teachers, you can share your projects to Google Classroom. It gives a link to Classroom or in your Google Classroom that the students can click on, and it brings them right into your classroom setting here in Project Ignite. It's a very nice, very helpful tool, and it works very well.